I knew if it was a full moon the word creatures would be coming out, and here we go. The same cat who comes out for the past 10 years putting cat paws all over my nice expensive vehicles. Hey, get lost. You don't live here. Beat it. I see you don't listen very well. Say goodbye, YouTube. Psst. Hey. Say goodbye, YouTube. Say goodbye. Stupid cat. We're at our garage and test facility. Let's see what we're driving in this video. Looks like a 2019 Honda Hybrid Insight to me. Says so right here. In the hybrid emblem, so your neighbors will know you're trying to save the planet. Or perhaps too poor to buy a Dodge Hellcat. This is the upgraded touring model. We'll talk about that later. It does cost more money, of course. I was really interested in the technology on this car when it first came out. So before I got this vehicle, I read everything I could, watched all the videos I could. And one thing stood out. All the testers and reviewers, they talked about the EPA fuel economy. Hardly anybody talked about the real-world fuel economy, which is kind of weird. If you drove the car, you'd think we'd want to know that, right? There was one YouTube reviewer, whose name I won't mention. I don't want to embarrass the guy. He does enough job embarrassing himself. Who did a so-called test on this vehicle. Said he saw 50 miles per gallon, but it was obviously a test where the dealer hands you the keys, you go out for an hour and bring it back. That's not a real review. And anytime a reviewer tells you what fuel economy they supposedly got without telling you what driving conditions or the miles they put on, it's bogus. Don't listen to it. So if you'd like to know what the real-world fuel economy is of the Honda Hybrid Insight, you came to the right place. Was going to rack up hundreds and hundreds of miles on this vehicle in different conditions and see the results we get and show it to you. No fake stuff here. Now officially, this is what Honda claims to get, 51, 45, 48. I put about 40 miles on this vehicle last night with an outside temperature of 90 degrees. In city driving, I was getting 42 miles to the gallon. Then today I put on an additional 28 miles. Let me show you the fuel economy I got and give you some information about temperatures and hybrids and what they like and don't like. In my total driving of almost 68 miles, my fuel economy is now 34.9 mpg. Hybrids don't like heat. And as you can see, it's 110 degrees outside. This is one of the factors. If you have a hybrid, you're driving in hot weather, you're going to lose a few points on fuel economy. When I picked up the vehicle, the computer said the previous driver had averaged 37.5 mpg. We don't know the conditions or the temperatures that was done at. I'm just passing the numbers along for reference. We have a lot more driving coming up, but first let's look under the hood and see what we have here. A 1.5 liter 4-cylinder. This combined with the electrical and generator system of the hybrid. Total output 151 horsepower. Torque rating is 197. Most of the hybrids on the market have those horrible rubber band CVT transmissions, which I can't stand and most people can't stand. Luckily, we didn't get that. This isn't a real transmission at all, actually. It's sort of a traction motor geared attached to the front wheels or something like that. I'm not going to bore you with the specs. Let's just say it's not a conventional transmission and it works. Aside from normal mode, you've got eco mode, sport mode, and electric mode. 4 to choose from. Take your pick. And I love this push button system we have on the shifters that we get in Hondas and Acuras now. Doesn't take up any room, easy to use. Some people on YouTube hate these, I don't know why. I like it. The good news is you get a nice big trunk back here. Bad news, like most hybrids, no spare tire. Just a, well, tire repair kit. Pretty much useless. The car companies say they don't put spare tires in vehicles anymore because of weight factors, especially in hybrids, but I think it's also a cost factor. On a wholesale level, figure for a spare tire jack, about 50 bucks. Multiplied by 1 million cars, that's a lot of money they're saving. And from a business standpoint, I can see it because, what, 1% of people will ever get a flat? Problem is, I know I'm going to be one of those 1%ers, and you might be too. If you're going out of town, you need a spare tire. I suggest you buy one. If you don't want to go to the dealer and buy a new one, there have been millions of Hondas on the road, plenty of spare tires and wheels at the local salvage yard. Cheap. Go get one. These are pretty sharp looking LED headlights. Like all of our videos, we're going to take these out and test them in the dark and see how they do. We'll do that right now. It's dark enough, let's check out these lights. Oop, guess we better turn them back on, huh? Here we have the headlights on a building 100 feet away, nice and bright, good height, widespread. Looks promising. Go to brights. Now we'll go to a longer distance. Here we have the brights on a building 300 feet away. Good height, good brightness, good spread. No complaints. Go to low beam. Barely reaches out. There are no complaints with these headlights. Very nice. If you do a lot of driving at night, I think you'll be more than pleased with this illumination. The first half of our video, show and tell section's over. Second half, we're going to do lots of driving and get some real fuel economy figures. So let's begin. The 0 to 60 time on this is claimed at 8.8 seconds, which doesn't sound very fast, but it's very misleading. With this electric motor, you got gobs and gobs of torque at the bottom end, and it speeds under 30 miles per hour. This thing has more than adequate passing power. We're going to do a quick run here, see what happens. I really don't see much difference in the sport mode, but it's there, so let's cheat and do it anyway. I would take the traction control off to see if I can lace some rubber, but I don't think that would happen. Sounds neat. Now we're moving. Not bad. Nice brakes, too. The power steering is electric, of course, and feels it, but I don't think the typical hybrid owner will care. It responds quick enough, I guess that's all we really need to worry about. Here's our performance circle we use for all our racing performance cars. Let's see what happens here. Wow, I'm not spinning out. I'm surprised. Lots of body lean, but it's hugging the road pretty good. I'm impressed. I did notice that if you put it in the sport mode and push the pedal down, you get all kinds of racing noises coming inside the cabin. Whether that's because we're actually getting more power or they're piping in some fake noises to impress you, I'm not sure, but it sounds good enough. If you push the right button, there's also a gauge that gives you the power flow to impress all your friends. This vehicle has a very comfortable ride on the street, so we're going to take it on some speed bumps and see how it does on impacts. We're on 25 miles per hour. Here comes bump number 1. Heard it, but didn't really feel it. Number 2. Number 3. And here comes the big nasty one. Overall, not bad. The body structure is pretty solid too, so you're driving around town. It's relatively quiet. Goal of this video is to give you a real-world fuel economy, but first I want to see how low we can go under the worst driving conditions, so I'm going to put it in sport mode. Take it out in the hottest part of the day, 111 degrees. Then we're going to hit some heavy city traffic. See what happens. Going to be a bit heavy on the throttle too. In the sport mode, you got that nice fake exhaust sound coming in the cabin, like anybody who drives a hybrid cares. Okay, that's enough hardcore driving. Let's pull over and see what we've got here. There you go. I think that's the worst you're ever going to get on this. You can only go up from here. Okay, another kook waiting for the bus. Who's your tailor, buddy? Good Lord Almighty. We're going to reset the computer and do a highway trip. On this trip, we're going to be cruising about 75 miles per hour, driving approximately 100 miles. This is a comfortable highway cruiser. There's a bit of tire noise coming up on rough pavement. Other than that, relatively quiet. We're coming to the end of our trip. We're going to pull over and see what our fuel economy is. 121 miles with an outside temperature of 102 degrees. There you go, 39.7 mpg. More fuel economy tests are coming up, so don't go away. The sun's gone down, the temperature is dropping, so we're going to reset the computer. Then we're going to take another highway trip. As before, we'll be running approximately 100 miles, averaging around 75 miles per hour. We're coming to the end of the line. We're going to pull over and see what our fuel economy is. Well, here are your numbers. 39.7 going up, 42.0 coming down. And there's more to come. We're going to reset the computer and do another fuel economy test. This is going to be a city expressway trip. So we're going to keep our speed under 65 miles per hour to see if we can bump up the fuel economy numbers. We're coming towards the end. We'll pull over and see what the computer says. I'm looking at the computer. It says we average 56 miles per hour. This should be interesting. And there's the figure. I don't think we're going to see any better, but you never know. I certainly don't have any desire to drive any slower on the expressway. This is a realistic test, not a hypermiler test. We're coming close to the 400 mile mark. We're going to pull over and wrap up this video. The main point of this video was to test for fuel economy on this hybrid. I added up all my mileage, all my trips, did the math. 1 week of driving averaged around 40 miles per gallon overall. Now you might say, yeah, you live in a hot climate, being in the desert, so how would it do in a cooler climate? I think we can answer that question too. I just picked up the latest issue of Car and Driver magazine. They test their vehicles in California and Michigan. Definitely cooler there. In their 1 week of testing, the 2019 Honda Insight. There you go, Car Driver observed fuel economy, 43 mpg. Right there in writing. 40 mpg, 43 mpg, that's all within a 10% spread. And that's pretty close to the Toyota Prius hybrid mileage, 41 to 43 mpg, which I've gotten on all my Prius models, and consumer magazines I've pretty much gotten too. I know there are going to be some hardcore hypermilers out there sending me an email telling how they're getting 55 to 60 mpg off their hybrids. No, you don't. Not if you're driving normally. I know that. You know that. Don't send me an email like that. Don't embarrass yourself. As far as the Honda Insight itself, this is an excellent car. If you've ever driven the Honda Accord, you'll be right at home. Large, luxurious, plenty of room, soft ride, excellent build quality. The starting price of $24,000 is more than reasonable. Very well equipped at that figure. This being the touring model loaded up with all the goodies was a bit more, of course. There's the total tab. Here's where it's made if you're interested in knowing that information. This is a nice car. If you're in the market for a hybrid, definitely give it a look. In the meantime, here's some links to other hybrid vehicles we've driven. Just click and watch. We have 280 other videos to watch too.